Welcome back to another episode on the See Through It podcast. I am your host, Brian Sales. How are you guys doing today on this Friday? I am doing a recorded episode. I got another show that I'll be watching due to a birthday. So I'm doing a recorded next week. I promise there will be a live sports episode. So we'll have some stuff to talk about then, but we got some stuff to talk about now. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and jump into this information and how to contact me and how to support the show and all these other great things. So let's go ahead and roll into that. So there you see it. You can contact me or follow me on Instagram, see through it _podcast. Also, if you want to follow and like the page on the facebook.com/STIPODCAST. Go there, give it a like, give it a follow. Still trying to hit that 500 mark, as you see there on the whiteboard. Trying to hit that before the end of the year. I think we got like 2 weeks. I'm sitting at like 370 or 367, somewhere around there. But if we don't hit that, it'll just roll over to the next year. Not gonna get discouraged. We've been seeing a lot of growth and got a nice little core going on. So very excited and happy about that. So if you want to, please go ahead and like the page, give it a like, join, share, join the conversation, share, like, and comment. So join the conversation. Also, you can reach me at seethroughitpodcast@gmail if you have any topics that you would like to have me discuss, or if you just want to contact me about purchasing a hoodie. As you see, I got the headbands. If you want some of the Warriors collection stuff, soon I'll be wearing more of that to showcase that. So if you want to purchase any of those items, let me know through there, or you can do that on Facebook. Also, I accept PayPal. If you want to donate to the show, paypalme.me/see through it. So if you would like to make a donation, I would greatly appreciate that. If not, that is fine. Also, just your time and watching these episodes and listening to me is appreciated also. So, but I would enjoy a donation if you could. But no pressure, no pressure. Also, you can contact me through See Through It 1 on Twitter. If you have Twitter, you can follow me there. So let's go ahead and jump into the topics of today. It's kind of a quiet week in sports. Baseball, winter season started for baseball signings. And oh my goodness, the signings. Wow. Gerrit Cole. I got down here. He has a 9-year contract, $324 million. That's money. That's money. Strasburg, 7-year, $245 million. Holy Mac, people, if you have kids, please tell your kids. Tell your kids to sign up for baseball. If they're doing good in school and they're doing everything they need to do and they are interested in playing sports, get them into baseball. No real contact, no real crazy, devastating, life-threatening injuries. It's buku money in baseball. They are throwing money around in baseball, especially if you're a pitcher. Gerrit Cole, Strasburg are going to be pitchers. They are pitchers. They pitch one time, maybe twice in a week. Maybe. They're at the top of the rotation. They might be pitching twice a week, maybe. And the rest of the time, they're sitting. They're sitting. They might get some extra usage in the playoff time because, you're trying to close out a series or whatever. You might want them to come in and relieve the pitcher and close it out or finish it up or whatever. But they're not going to be. You don't play that many games. Pitchers do not play 162 games. They don't play 162 games. You see them one time. If you are paying to go to a baseball game, you're probably not going to see Gerrit Cole unless Gerrit Cole is playing on that day. They are paying buku money in the baseball. That's crazy. And I understand. I mean, they put their arms through a lot of torture, and the the bending of the shoulder or the arm when they throwing it, and all the torque on the shoulder joint and the elbow, and fingers get all weird from the ball rubbing and blah blah blah. Wow, $324 million over 9 years. And remember, he's not playing 162 games. So out of a month, he's playing maybe 5 games. I'm gonna do the. I should have did the math. I'm gonna do the math on that, and I'm gonna put that information out. How much is he getting paid to play 5 games to be a pitcher in the baseball league, MLB? That is crazy. So people, push your kids towards baseball. Push them towards. It's. I heard that it's a little bit more expensive to have a kid in baseball, but I mean it's definitely going to pay off in the long run if they have the talent to become something good in baseball. The numbers is, as a pitcher, that is crazy. The only issue I have with pitchers getting paid that much money. One, they don't play 162 games. Two, you don't know what they're going to be like the upcoming year. We don't know what Gerrit Cole is going to look like. It's not like he's had a tremendous career. He's a good pitcher. Most definitely. He's a good pitcher. Was he better than Justin Verlander when Justin was in his prime? Pedro Martinez? Greg Maddux? John Smoltz? Tom Glavine? Mike Mussina? Roger? Nolan? Just to name a few. Like, what is this? And it's a new age. I get that. We baseball, and with TV deals and advertisement and all this other stuff. I get that. But my goodness, folks, come on. He's not playing 162 games. And with the pitching, these pitchers, they have pitch counts now. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the money. I'm just saying, should they be paying pitchers, all pitchers? Should they be making that type of money? Should there be some type of cap or something on pitchers? Because again, they don't play 162 games. I know you need a pitcher to carry you when your bats are cold, and you definitely don't want the other team's bats to be hot, so you need a pitcher to shut them down too, and hopefully you get a run in and score. But $324 million? And you don't know if he's going to be good the following year? When consistency is a real thing in baseball, you need a pitcher that's consistent all the time. Has he been healthy? He has been pretty healthy. Strasburg, 7-year, $245 million. The past two, well, not the past, but I want to say there was like a 2-3 year span where he was up and down. 7-year, $245 million. Not to mention these players are almost 30 years old. Gerrit Cole is not a 9-year contract. He'll be almost 40 at the end of this contract. We all saw what happened to A-Rod. But he had a 10-year deal, 250 or something like that. What? And he was already 30. These baseball, they. I don't understand who's making these contracts up, or are they just blind, or what? Like, if I'm in there, if I'm the owner, and I'm listening to the agent, you want 10 years for how much? Okay. How old are you? 29. Okay. Will someone get me the advanced stats on pitchers that are 29 to 34? Show me what that looks like. How many games have they played? And since we're dealing with pitchers, we know they're not playing 162 games. So show me the starts. Show me the ERA. I want to see all of that. I'm not about to give you no 9 years. First and foremost. And I know on the 5th year, I think there's a player option for him to step away from the contract. I'm doing it at 3. Team option at 3 years. I want to see what if this first year doesn't go right. That third year, I'm having some real decisions to be made. We're gonna have some discussions. We're gonna look at it at the 3 year mark. We're not gonna wait to 5 years. 3 or 2 maybe. Holy man, there's gonna be some incentives. I hope the majority of this contract is incentive based, and maybe some guaranteed money in it. Definitely some guaranteed money in there, but incentives like I need to see 220 strikeouts a season, an All Star appearance, top 5 in the Cy Young Award or top 3 somewhere. That money has to be justified for pitchers that are about to be 30 years old when they don't pitch like they used to pitch. I'm used to Tom Glavine and them pitching all the way up to that like 8th inning with 100 and some odd pitches. And that's not true for all pitchers, but back then there was no pitch count. You know, they went out there throwing their stuff. Pitchers were pitchers. It's a different day now. It's a different day. So, but congratulations to G. Cole. I'm not going to hate on his bank account because it's looking nice. It's going to be looking nice for the next 9 years. Him and Strasburg. Oh my gosh, that is crazy money. The offseason for the MLB has been. I think they almost topped out at $1 billion spent in free agency. $1 billion. Wow. Well, as we transition, we're going to jump into some NBA. I had seen somewhere Luka was asked, someone was trying to compare him to MJ. And he quickly said, don't compare me to MJ. That made me happy. He hasn't been in the playoffs. He hasn't won a championship. He hasn't won an MVP. He hasn't won a scoring title. I don't know how you compare him to MJ just because he matched some stats in a little 6-game streak or whatever. That's weird. I hate that ESPN and any other network make up these weird stats and make it seem like that's doing something. I'm sure a lot of stats of today can smash a lot of stats from before. The game is totally different. They get up more shots. I don't remember the last time I've seen a shot clock violation. Threes are falling from everywhere. Everyone's shooting threes. The numbers, I don't get that. But I'm glad we don't have to have a MJ versus Luka discussion. He shot that down. He shot it down. But since we're talking about the NBA, I brought it up. Right now, it's kind of early for the MVP talks. I've been seeing a lot of analysts, Stephen A. and all of them, mention the MVP, and he has LeBron James as his MVP. But it's hard for me to sign that, to be like, you know what, LeBron is the MVP. But I can't go with that. LeBron has AD. Giannis has no one on his team. His numbers, he's averaging 30 points a game. His PER is 33.4, I believe. LeBron's is 27.8 or 6. 27.8, I believe. That's a nice little gap. And I think LeBron is averaging 27 points a game. Is he? They like to throw in there that he's playing defense this year. If you actually watch the games, the Lakers are playing better team defense around him. They're playing better team defense. He hasn't really played anyone that he's had to really guard. And on top of that, his one-on-one defense matchup, he's not always playing defense. You might get 2 stops from LeBron playing some real defense. His eyes are wandering. He's not paying attention a lot. The Lakers play a lot of good team defense. They put a nice team around him to play good team defense to hide his deficiency on defense. I'm not saying he can't play defense. I think he chooses not to play defense. I'm sure he can definitely lock up whoever he wants to guard, but he doesn't. I think he's saving his body. He's using it more for the offensive side. And then if they need to stop, he can maybe get a stop. But we saw him against Luka, and Luka did whatever he wanted to do in the two matchups. But that's your MVP. That's who you say is the most dominant player on the court. No, he's not. They're catching up to him. Giannis, Luka, all of them are catching up to him. Kawhi is right there. But the only issue with Kawhi is that we don't see Kawhi playing. Kawhi has been taking a lot of games off. I don't know if he has a real knee injury, but they keep saying his knee's not right. His knee is not right. When he does play, I can't tell. So, I mean, maybe at the end of the season we'll really find out what's really going on, or maybe they just don't. They're not going to play him because he's that valuable. How does that make you feel? You're paying for a game to see Kawhi on the court, and you find out he's not going to play because it's a back-to-back. He's not going to play. People should be outraged about that. I'm sure those NBA tickets are not cheap. I'm sure they're not cheap. I'm old school. I'm old school. If you're healthy, you should be playing. I mean, there's players in the football league that are injured and they're playing through that. Maybe I shouldn't even brought that up because that's not always good. I mean, you know your body, but are you just saving yourself for the end of the season? And that's what it seems like. Are you just saving yourself for the playoff run while everyone else is playing 82 games or 70 games, somewhere around there? Let's say 65 to 75 games. Everyone's probably going to play that. All the superstars, 65 to 75 games. That's their range. And you going to play about 58 and then come into the playoffs fully energized, legs super fresh, and just dominate. I can't put you up there with Michael. I can't say you're the best player in the league when you only played 58 games. Everyone else is up at 70. I can't do it. I seen Michael play. I seen Charles and Shaq and them, Kobe. I seen them play. They wanted to play the game. They was out there on the court. And right now, LeBron is doing that. But he's not the MVP. Right now, Giannis is my number one. LeBron's probably like 2 or 3. I'm thinking 3. Luka is a bad boy. And that might be bias. See, I'm gonna just call it out. It's probably my biased opinion. I don't want LeBron to be number 2, and he probably is number 2. But Luka's number 2. And you can call it bias. I'm telling you, it's probably very biased. It's probably very biased. But as the season goes along and as the college football is almost done, I'll be able to focus more on basketball and I'll get into the stats a little bit more. But right now, we're not really looking at the stats and studying the game. I'm going to just say Luka. And I'm going to let you know it's probably biased because he can't be number 2 right now. Not until I really look at it. So right now it's Giannis number 1, Luka number 2, LBJ number 3. That's my top 3 for the MVP. So speaking of MVPs, we are talking MVP of the NFL, Lamar Jackson. Before we get into that, I just want to say right now, I built a little bandwagon. And I'm jumping on that bandwagon to hitch it to the Baltimore Ravens bandwagon if it has any more space to tow along. My Jets, they beat my Jets, and I don't have any reason to watch NFL games right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook my wagon up to the bandwagon of the Baltimore Ravens. I'm sure there's bandwagon fans out there. They just won't say it, but I'm not going to allow pride to keep me from enjoying a good football team right now. That's a good football team. I'm not going to. No, I'll let pride step aside and I will make this wagon and attach it to theirs. Lamar Jackson he's doing a lot of things that no one thought he was going to be able to do. They didn't think he was going to be able to throw the ball. They didn't think he was going to be able to read coverage. They just thought he was going to hike and take off every time he hiked the ball. Excuse me. That's not the case. Lamar Jackson is sitting in the pocket, flinging that ball with such ease. With such ease. And he's running around on design runs. A lot of them runs are design runs for the team put in for him to run. And if he needs to scramble out, he scrambles out. And he does it so... Everyone compares him to Vic. I think he's a little bit better. He's faster. He's more elusive. Yeah. So I'm officially a bandwagon fan of the Baltimore Ravens. I hope they make it to the Super Bowl and they win. My Jets, I didn't like the signing of Le'Veon Bell. I'm pretty sure I was very clear on that. Gave him too much money to do nothing. I don't know. I don't know how to fix that team or what to do with that team. I know one of my favorite defensive linemen is on that team, Quentin Williams. But that team is horrible. I feel bad for him. He should be somewhere else. He doesn't deserve this. He's a winner. Now he has to be on that. But anyway, I'm going to do a wrap-up of the NFL season right before the playoffs, I believe. Working on some things. But congratulations on the Ravens for clinching their division. And I am officially a bandwagon fan of the Baltimore Ravens. I'm just letting you guys know that. So if you see me talking about the Baltimore Ravens, I've already addressed it. Don't say, hey, aren't you a Jets fan? Yes, I'm still a Jets fan. But I'm cheering on the Baltimore Ravens. So that's that. That's that. On to college football. Alabama's not in the playoffs. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. I've heard all the nonsense. I've read so much. I've seen so much. It's disgusting. But we got Oklahoma, LSU, Ohio State, Clemson. It's going to be interesting. Jalen Hurts making the playoffs. Alabama not in the playoffs. That's crazy. That's a storyline that everyone wanted to see. Everyone wanted to see that. They either wanted Alabama to be in there so Tua and Jalen can play each other, or they just hoped that Alabama did not make it at all. That's what they wanted. It's one of those two things. So they got their wish. Alabama's not in the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs. So we got LSU, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Clemson. I believe Ohio State will play Clemson very close. With Chase Young being able to create pressure, I believe that game will be a little bit closer than what everyone is thinking. Everyone's hyping up Clemson just to be so angry, just wipe out Ohio State. But I don't see them the same. Both of those teams had a pretty light schedule. Both of those teams, I would say Clemson struggled in the North Carolina game. Ohio State was sleepwalking in the first half of that Wisconsin game. There were some other games that they didn't play. They played down to their opponent, Penn State. I don't know. I don't think that game is going to be a blowout. I'm flipping. I have it going back and forth. I think twice I've said Clemson, and this will be the second time I'm picking Ohio State. So it's about even. I believe those teams are evenly matched. Chase Young is the difference maker. If he can create pressure on Trevor Lawrence all game, and Ohio State can keep their running game going with Justin and Dobbins, it's going to be because we don't really know how good Clemson's defense is. We don't know. We don't know. We also don't know how good Ohio State's defense is. We know they have some holes in the run defense because Wisconsin was eating them, and Travis Etienne is going to be there for Clemson. So it's I don't believe this is going to be a blow. I don't believe everyone's saying Trevor Lawrence is going. Clemson's going to come out and knock their heads off like they did back in was that 16, 17, whatever year that was, where they just blew. Oh, this is not the same team. I believe both teams are very good. Both teams are very evenly matched. But we'll get more into the breakdown of those games as the weeks come. I think we got 2 weeks. 2 weeks before the playoffs start, so we definitely gonna break down these games. But Oklahoma and LSU, I don't think that's really close. I think too much firepower for LSU. Joe Burrow, he's gonna be your Heisman winner. Oklahoma's defense is not good at all. They've been playing very strong. They've been doing all they can. They've been doing all they can, but it's not a very good defense. But LSU's defense not that good. But you're playing against Jalen Hurts, and this is not a knock on Jalen because I love Jalen. Jalen's a good quarterback, but he's not Joe Burrow. Jalen's a good quarterback. He's not Trevor Lawrence. Jalen's a good quarterback, but he's not Tua. And what I mean, all three of those quarterbacks are passing quarterbacks. They dissect the defense. Jalen doesn't do that. I think he has about 2 reads, and then it's take off and go. You know, there's different quarterback styles, and everyone's style works for them. You know, so I think he's a 2-read quarterback, and he takes off. LSU has that big play. They can hit that big play. Clemson can do the same thing, in Ohio State. What we've seen from Ohio State, we've seen that they've been able to hit the big play. But we'll see if they are able to hit the big play against better competition. Those are all the question marks. How good is Justin Fields? How good is Ohio State? How good are they? How good are they? We don't really know yet. We've seen some glimpses. We will find out in these playoffs. So we will definitely be breaking those down. But just to wrap all of this up, the Bama, the dynasty being dead. That's what everyone is saying. Alabama over the 10 years has been the most dominant team in college football. In the last 2 years, with injuries plaguing this team, they've taken some hits. And I don't believe any team right now in college football, if they lost their quarterback, would they still be in the playoffs? Would they still be in the playoffs? They wouldn't. If any of those teams lost their quarterbacks, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. Alabama was fortunate to have 2 quarterbacks that could help them get to the playoffs. Win one, lose one. You know, so is the dynasty dead? I don't believe the dynasty is dead. I believe it's taken some hits. It has to reinvent itself. Not really reinvent, but go back to what it does. Being Bama strong, getting back to the basics of discipline and doing what they're supposed to do every game. And stop the injuries. I don't know how you answer the injury problem, but Alabama has been hit with the injury bug for the past 2-3 seasons. It's been unreal. But to all you people out there that keep saying the dynasty is dead, it's not dead. It's injured right now. It is injured right now. But I believe as long as Nick Saban is the football coach, you cannot count that team out. How many other schools would love to have a 10-win season? How many? How many schools would love to be in the conversation every year? A lot. There's a lot of teams out there that wish they could have 10-win seasons. 10 and 2 and 11 and 1 every year, or 12 and 0. Those are the 3 slots for Alabama. They're either going to be 10-2, 11-1, or 12-0. And right there in the conversation for championship, for the playoffs. It's not that many teams out there. Alabama was in 5 straight playoffs in this college football. It comes to an end, but sometimes good things come to an end. But I don't believe this is an end. I believe this is just a pause. You got the injuries. You got to work out some kinks. You had a bunch of young players. All those young pieces are coming back. Nick is not in the playoffs. He's been able to recruit. I think the college football playoff committee and college football as a whole should be on notice. Because the teams that are in there right now, LSU, they ain't going to be there. Joe Burrow's gone. Jake Fromm is gone from Georgia. And Georgia wasn't even a... Better wake up. Alabama's coming back. The dynasty's not dead. The dynasty is not dead. And I had to talk about them because that's my team. I haven't really talked about them this college football season because they haven't really had any games to talk about except the LSU. But I had tons of homework, so I couldn't do a show then. And did a show. I believe I covered the Auburn one. Well, so I haven't really had many opportunities to talk about Alabama, but I'm talking about them now. I just want you to know, I've heard you. I've seen you. I've seen the tweets. I've seen the Facebook posts. I've seen it all. My question is, where's your team at? Where's your team at? And if they're in the playoffs, congratulations. Will they win? We don't know. Will they be back? What have they been doing the past 10 years? Can they consistently be in that conversation? We'll have to wait and see. So, stop hating on Alabama because it ain't over. It ain't over. So that'll be the show for tonight, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Before we run out of here, let's go ahead and run that contact information one more time. If you want to follow me on Instagram, follow me there at seethroughit_podcast. Facebook, give the page a like and a share. You see that, give it a thumbs up. Facebook.com/STIP STIPODCAST. Excuse me. And join the conversation. Send it to your family, friends. We're trying to hit that 500 mark before the end of the year. We got 2 more weeks. So if you could, that would be fantastic. Also, you can contact me through Gmail, seethroughitpodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you want to purchase any of the items, as you see here, the coffee mug. Let's get that glare out of there. Can't get that glare. There we go. Coffee mugs, hoodies, headbands. Let me know. I accept PayPal. And you can also, if you would like to donate to the show, paypal.me/seethroughit. I would greatly appreciate that. So that's that. And also, if you're on Twitter, up in the corner, seethroughit1. Follow me there on Twitter, seethroughit1. Working on some interviews right now. So hopefully before the NFL season's over, get some people in here, do some split cams or whatever to get some interviews going. But again, thank you for tuning in. The slogan, you already know what the slogan is. Don't be blinded by the media. #SeeThroughIt. This is the See Through It podcast. I'm your host, Brian Sells, and I will talk to you guys later. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday, an episode about Christmas. It should be very helpful, I believe. Very helpful. So make sure you tune in to that on next week, Wednesday. Tune in 7 o'clock, not 7:30. But this time will be 7 o'clock. So make sure you tune into that. I'll definitely be posting that up when it's time for that episode to roll out. So again, thank you for tuning in. And you guys have a good Friday, a good weekend. Peace.